Welcome back to PocketChange. Hey, thank you guys for coming and listening to us ramble on about random things. But what we're supposed to be talking about is eBay and how to make extra money online, selling stuff that we find here and there, everywhere, thrift stores, yard sales, your grandmother's attic when she's not looking, wherever you can get it, just grab it and go. I'm your host, Jefferson, and here's my co-host, Joel. Joel, how you doing?
How's it going, everybody? How's it going, Benz? Good to see you. Good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, whichever way you are listening to us or watching us. We're glad you're with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss a single one of our episodes.
Ding, ding.
But we are definitely going to be kicking off a great show for you this go around. I keep getting confused.
59.
So this is 59. Keep getting confused on that because we're doing this Picker Pass limited edition for you, ladies and gentlemen, as well. And we always have to put the number in here, and so it confuses me when I come in here. Wait a minute, we've already done Picker Pass 61,
Yes.
which is Picker Pass like some different number. But anyway, we hope you're enjoying those. Go listen to those. But this is a little different program where we talk about what we've sold, what we've sourced, what we've learned, and news for you. So we want to pass on a way for you to get your reselling business up and running faster and being profitable faster than the average. So let's take it away. What'd you sell this week, Ben? How'd you do?
So my number's not great. I only sold 300.
I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't be complaining about that, would you, ladies and gentlemen?
No, last week and the week before, I've been adding stuff plus doing the cards. So this week, I might have took a few naps. I don't know. I took some pictures of stuff, just the little naps here and there. I took some pictures and got myself ready for next week. But I wanted to see if putting out those cards was truly going to equate to what I was doing when I was putting out other products.
So you wanted to test that theory
I want to test that
that
theory.
you had. Just putting out the cards, does it boost your other part of your business as well?
Exactly. And I don't believe it did. I think it kept it going steady, but I didn't do the week before where I was doing regular stuff and the card, and I had $800+ week. And I backed that down to 25 for next week because I was putting out 50, 50, 50, 50. So I was like, I didn't see the benefit. I think I see a benefit from not having to list other stuff, and I got new stuff going on. But definitely when I was listing new stuff, I was selling the new stuff and old stuff as well. I think eBay's smart enough to know that I'm just listing 50 cards a day. Got the hiccups.
And that's going into a little different realm too. So that may play a little different because they've done the vault thing and all that stuff. Now we know the vault's kind of gone over to what is it, PSA now, but still, so it's a little bit of a different department. Like if you're talking about a department store, the cards would be in a different area than rugs or so it's the same way.
My thought was it doesn't matter what you put out there, you just put it out there. And if you're putting out 50 a day, 50 a day, 50 a day, you have lots of sale. Didn't really work, but it was a decent week without doing a whole lot of other stuff. So I can't complain for this week because I was busy doing other things and working on, I actually edited us out on the podcast. That's what I did this week because I know I'm traveling again. I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be traveling, and then I ended up getting hey, we're going to halt the traveling. So I was like, oh, I'm back home. And then what I did was spent time reorganizing my stuff. You can't tell from the room because I didn't work in here, but I was getting stuff together. And then now I'm traveling for 2 weeks straight. So I will be putting the store on vacation probably for about 13 days. So that'll be the test we can do now. I was going to do like a 14-day test. I will be back next week, but I'm only back for 1 day. And I don't want to take the chance that I get a lot of sales. And I got a couple things I got to do when I get back. And then I'll be gone. So I'm only home for 1.
So we'll know what an extended vacation can do.
So we're going to do the vacation for 13 days and see what my sales do over 13 days. So another thing to test. That's all we're about.
Any predictions? Because if I was to put my store on vacation for 13 days based on my store metrics right now,
I think you'd probably sell too.
I don't think I would sell anything. I think I would get a 0, and that would not be a good true test because again, my store is in this trying to move over to this new model that I'm trying to copy. And so I'm selling here and there. I'm actually selling more frequent than I was.
Yeah.
But I'm not selling anywhere near the level you are. So your store is a better test of what's going to happen if you go on vacation mode for 30.
This week I sold $350, but I did sell 17 things. I just sold all real low dollar things and some cards. What I was selling was the cheapy stuff, right? Average sale about $5. Whatever. I did, and in there I sold one thing for $100. So you got to figure out, take $100, at least $250 against the other 16 items. That really next to nothing.
No, I think you did well. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Why is my Norton popping up? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If it's messing with the app a little bit, Norton is trying to do its scan and all this stuff because apparently it's decided to do it at 7:16. And I'm like, why? Anyway, so back to my train of thought. I have ADHD. In case you can't tell, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to get back focused. What was I saying before that popped up? Rewind.
I don't know, but my average selling cost, so out of the 350, it cost me $88.22. I mean, I made a little bit of cash from my pocket.
Yeah, so let's go figure this up. Ladies and gentlemen, our world deals in gross numbers. And we can talk about taxation, but everybody's tax is a little different. But let's just say $385 times 52. That's an extra 20 grand, ladies and gentlemen. So that's really not that shabby.
No, for a part-time.
So really, honestly, $20,000 a year is not bad. So
Yeah,
it's still not.
I think I'm like, oh, it ain't shit because last week I did over 800, right?
Right.
But what if I would have only done 350 last week? We're still on track. We're doing 350 a week. What?
Well, you and I can remember just less than not quite a year ago, you getting 300 to 400 a week was that was a good average week for you. That has since increased dramatically. And I'd say your average probably now is somewhere over 600.
No, yes and no. If I try, that's the thing. I need to try more, right? There's no do, there's only try, says Yoda or some shit like that. I need to work harder at it. I just need to. This week, I'm just a lazy bum this week, right? I did put in 47 hours of work and went in and worked Sunday. And as far as this, on Saturday, truthfully, I watched the whole Banshee thing. I just got on the couch and I was like, oh, I'm going to go do some stuff. And I sat down and I started watching some show I never saw before. And I watched 2 seasons of it, right? And which is completely a waste of time. But I don't watch that much TV. But when I get into it, man, I'm like freaking, my wife was gone, so I'm all alone. I didn't have to put pants on or leave the house. Hell, I'm in my underoos, just hanging out. So,
not a great mental image, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, I just tell you that's not a great mental image you just got displayed for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and picture it. Jeff in his underoos. No, I'm kidding.
There's no picture on here. Like I said, you have to do the OnlyFans to get that.
Benz's OnlyFans, if you want to see him in his underwear.
If anybody seeing me in my underwear would have to truly be a fan because it's not exciting. 20 years ago, I might have made, you know what? That was probably hot then. It is 20 years of cheeseburgers from Wendy's and a little bit too much pizza, a little too much whiskey. 6-pack or so.
Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah, definitely not something I want to see either. I don't have an OnlyFans, although I think that if I did one, I would need to figure out how to get people to come see it and get them on a long-term subscription. Then they would pay me to get off the subscription. That would be my secret to wealth there. But let's get back to eBay selling here. Let's get back to eBay selling.
How was your week?
My week was pretty standard week for me right now. It was one to 2 items. It was really only 1 item. I'm setting at $17. So I'm not doing, to me, if I get $300 a week, I'd be like, hey, but I'm working on that. I do believe this new store model, I'm starting to catalog on myself and get my inventory right because, ladies and gentlemen, if I take this screen down from behind me, you're going to be like, whoa. You got to keep in mind when you've seen Benz's stuff, if you look at some of our videos, you'll see he did one from his garage area. All that stuff is so organized because he's in logistics, whereas I'm into sales. So
this
sales
doesn't look very organized right now.
Well, you got the boxes behind you with sticky notes on them. Lord have mercy. I take this down. You'll be like, what happened? Did a tornado go through? So I am trying to organize all my stuff because I'm planning on selling more. And I realize I'm going to sell more. I need to get back to my technician mind. When I was a tech, my idea was my tools need to be neat and in their place because time is money. And that's the big thing there. So doing with that, but I sold one thing this week, pair of pants. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm begging you. If you need women's clothes, visit Frugal Deals. I literally mean this when I say I will accept any reasonable offer. And I will combine shipping if it works for you. I don't mind because I want to get out of the ladies' clothes business. I want to get more into a couple specific areas and focus on those areas. I want to build that up, but I don't want to just trash my inventory. I'm not at a point where I want to do that. I want to get rid of it. So I promise you, I will do anything. Frugal Deals. We're going to make the deal for you. We're going to wheel the deal. If you just contact me, go visit it. But getting that said, pretty standard week. Now, again, it's great to be standard again, because for a while there, I went without selling anything because I just had my store on autopilot. We have proven, ladies and gentlemen, I have absolutely proven autopilot eBay store does not work.
If you do nothing, you get nothing.
I have proven that is one thing for sure. It's a fact. It's not a theory. It's a fact. If you run your eBay store on autopilot, you will sell nothing. In fact, I went a whole 30 days and I sold nothing. But I had to sell one thing. Got $17 in the little kitty after shipping and everything. So not bad, not great. Not going to retire. Not going to work less hours off of that. But there again, we are getting to the point where every week we're selling something, which is a good pickup again to get where we're doing that. Did get feedback though. One thing you'll struggle with, ladies and gentlemen, is when you do your eBay reselling is feedback. Feedback generally runs around 30%. We've talked about this on some of our episodes before. Generally runs about 30% of the time you'll get feedback. Now, I used to get a little bit better than that because I used to send out all these notes. So I did do that over the last 2 weeks. And guess what? I jumped from 34 to 39. So it is a proven fact that if you communicate with your buyers, they are more apt to leave positive feedback for you. And really, all you got to do that. I wonder if I can show this. Let me see here just a second. These would be only for our YouTube subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize if you're listening to us on Spotify or one of the others, but I'm going to share screen just here a little bit.
Video on Spotify, but I've gone back to just audio because it seems to load better there. So,
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm looking around. Okay, share screen. Let's see. Window here. Share. Let's see if I can get it to work. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
What are you seeing?
Nelson Ridgepacks Tour.
Okay. So what this is, ladies and gentlemen, is this is basically some things I came up with for writing my ad. But if you look down here, right here, you'll see it says update, and I've got these basically in numerical kind of order as soon as they buy it. And it's just a little thing I typed out and I just copy and paste. Like the one here, update. Thank you so much for your purchase. The item will ship tomorrow with USPS with tracking provided. We always attempt to do as quick a turnaround as possible. In the meantime, we wondered if you would like to take a look at eBay item. And if they bought something, you got something similar, this is one you can put an eBay item in or visit our store at. Purchase by midnight Eastern time tonight. We could ship it out tomorrow as well. Again, thanks for your purchase. Please let us know if there's anything we could do better. As always, feedback is much appreciated. Save us as a favorite seller. Follow us for more items as more listed regularly. So it's just something I typed out. You don't have to do exactly what I did, but I've got several of them typed out for as the package is shipped. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And it just makes it so that I'm sending one regular. And I have noticed that if you do that, here's what's going to happen. You're going to see your feedback increase to around 53% from 30%. So that's a 23% increase. Now, when you're low like me and you're sitting there in the below 100, your sales are going to be less. You still need to maintain 100 positive, and you need to get over 100. You really need to get over 250 from what we've been reading and researching. Benz, you're at what now on your feedback?
Like 340 or something like that.
Yeah. So you really want to get over 250. Over 1,000 is even better. Once you get over 1,000, everybody just assumes you're a great seller. Now, the problem is maintaining 100% positive once you get over 1,000, because I've seen a ton of people that have 30,000, 50,000 reviews, and they'll have 89%.
Yeah.
That's good Lord. And when you go to look, they're shipping like 500 things a week, and they'll get 450 great and 50 bad. So you got to maintain what you're doing there, but feedback's important. So I did get my feedback improved. I did come back to sending out the little notes as people bought the last 2 weeks just to see if it really did. And sure enough, it popped it back up. So there's a good thing to know, ladies and gentlemen. Feedback is important because I can tell you right now, I buy a lot of stuff on eBay and I know how easy it is really in certain ranges to maintain 100% positive. Plus you get, 5 eBay per year things that you can have removed.
They've gotten rid of that pretty much across the board. The only way you're going to get it removed is do free returns and have them open a return. Then it'll go away. But they have cracked down on that. You can't just get somebody to remove stuff the way you used to. I've never had bad feedback. Knock on wood. But listen to other podcasters that do. They used to be able to just call and say, hey, this person, I'm a prestige member or whatever they are, and they would take it away. Now, from what I heard on other podcasts, that's gone away. You can't just get them taken away anymore.
Now, I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, I did get one removed. And the reason it was removed is because the lady who bought from me, she literally put 5 stars positive, but then her comment, she said, smells like litter box, stunk, sad product.
Yeah, okay.
So they did remove that because they were like, for one, she made a derogatory comment, which is against eBay standards. And 2, she tried to get past the negative review ruling because anytime this is a part of eBay, if you're a seller and you get a negative review, you can request for it to be reviewed.
Right.
And again, if it doesn't meet the community standards, they'll automatically remove it. So it didn't meet the community standards. And then also her violation of trying to make it positive so it would slip under the radar. It wasn't reviewed. I couldn't even have it reviewed. They removed it.
Yeah. If you have someone that leaves you feedback and they say it's positive and then say something negative, those conflict. So that makes sense. That would be able to get it removed.
Yeah.
If during the process where they're buying something from you, they send you an email and say, hey, this isn't right. You either give me some money back or I'm going to leave you a negative review. That's extortion. You'll be able to get that removed. But just to get something removed that's a negative feedback that they haven't done anything against the policies, no longer is really that easy.
Right. And that's why you're starting to see more sellers with lower rates. But feedback's important because I won't buy from anybody that's got below basically a 97.
Yeah.
And I look at how much you ship out per month. I just bought a thing from a guy, I found it $3 cheaper. The guy ships out 5 things a month. He literally sells 5 things a month and he has an 87% rate. And I was like, no. So I went and paid more to the guy who only had 13, but they were all 100% positive. And he'd shipped out like 6 in the last month. It means more to that guy.
For sure. He's
for
trying
him to do it right.
Yeah. You want to get a good seller. All right. So I'm going to share my sale of the week.
What we got? What we got?
So I sold this Xerox
high yield toner cartridge
for $99. $99.99. Yeah. So keep an eye out for these. They always sell. If you see any kind of toner cartridge at a yard sale, I got this at a yard sale. I paid them like $3.
How do you keep coming across the high dollar ones though? Everyone I come across is $20, and I'm like, I'm not paying $5 to $10.
I buy the $20 ones as well, and they don't sell like the way the good ones sell. So if you scan it, depends on what you pay for, right? But I've got like 4 or 5 that have been around forever, and other ones that I get a hold of, boom, they sell right away. So I think I want to talk about is your store. So if you're setting up your store, I had time home this week, so I went and revamped my store. So I'm going to share my store with everybody.
Yeah, that looks good.
So I redid my header. I put DJ Ben Finds, Thrifty Treasures, PocketChange. Those are my things. I made myself a new logo here. It says DJ Ben's Finds Reselling Channel. That's cool. I made sure I had some featured categories. You can go in and set these up. So I've got belt buckles, art, hat, media, apparel, and collectibles. And then it'll show your newly listed here, which is just going to be nothing but cards for me because that's all I'm listing right now. But you can also set up your featured items. So I just randomly grabbed a little bit of everything I had. And then you can do this. You can have a banner ad. So I got belt buckles is what I did, and I just put show off your flair. And then I ran a sale on the belt buckles as well, which is ended now because that's what I did last week. So, there's my stores. A bunch of hats, a little bit of hats, some artwork. But you have all these features you can use. You should be trying, right?
Yep.
Set up your categories, set up your featured items, do your banner ads, and it looks more professional, I think, as like a store.
Yeah, I need to change mine, do some updates on mine as well, do my logo update. The last logo update I actually did was to change it over from, I did this little building with a chevron around it, ladies and gentlemen, and put frugal deals across the top. And just to throw something out there real quick, and Benz goes, are you giving everybody the middle finger?
It
If
looked
you
like
looked
this.
at it, it looked like I was flipping everybody off.
Like, what the hell?
I was like, no, it don't. And I went and looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. It really.
I sent you a couple. I did a couple. I was playing around that editing software I have now. It does pictures, so I did a whole bunch of different.
Yeah, I need to, and that's one thing too, was my store still has pictures that are like ripped off the internet. And so you need to actually, and that's another thing, ladies and gentlemen, when you're setting up your store, I guess we're moving into this genre.
No, I'm just
When
saying.
you're setting up your store, go back and share your store again, Benz. I want to point out some things on it. So if you share it again.
Hold on. I done exited out.
He's done closed it.
Yeah.
He's already closed it, so he's going to bring it back up. But I want to point out a couple things, and I could bring mine up, but my computer doesn't like me to do anything like that.
All right, it's up.
Okay, so you see how for his featured categories, and this is the thing, for his featured categories, most of his pictures, now you're looking right here just on the screen. The first one, I'm not sure what that is. Belt buckle. It's a belt buckle. So that's an actual belt buckle he has had.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still got it.
I still have,
but it's one he's actually had. And then that's an art piece he actually has.
Yeah.
A hat he actually has. Now the video, those things there, that's a pretty standard thing. Then the apparel and accessories is something he actually has. The Rubik's Cube, that's a picture he actually has. So number one, he owns those pictures, so you can't get in trouble there because eBay's starting to crack down on this stuff too. Yeah. I read in the eBay Council, they're starting to crack down on people stealing pictures because here's the thing too. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, these cards he's got listed here, there's no way to turn in notes. So he can list any card there he wants to list when he does his card category because the cards are the cards.
Yeah.
But if you look closely down here at these two loose Funko Pops he's got, okay, that is his picture. He owns that picture according to eBay. If anybody else on eBay has those two items and they just simply take that picture from him, eBay can actually started being able to track that, and they can tell by the way the shadow is, by the way it's turned, all this, and they can tell who listed that picture first. They will now take your pictures down. They will send you an email. This is on the eBay Council. They will send you an email saying, don't do this again. If you do it again, they will basically, I don't know, I guess they give you some kind of you get a warning, then you get some kind of consequence. I don't know if that'd be a fine. They didn't really go into those details, but they said there would be consequences up to banning of your account. So take your own pictures, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take them off the internet because a lot of people have been taking licensable pictures, and that's the big thing they're concerned about.
Yeah.
You go over there and you grab a licensable picture and you throw it on your page. That's a no. That can get you in trouble real quick. So make sure you're setting up your feature items. Plus, here's the thing. You can take those pictures, and if they go, ooh, I like that from that featured item, they're going to assume it's in your store.
Yep.
So if you sell that item, take it out and change your featured picture because that attracts them. They go, oh, it's in your store. Let's go buy it. I've been looking for that. Or I think that's cool. So don't make somebody mad just because you don't have the item you're featuring. Even though it's a featured category, they expect you to still have that item.
Well, I got to change the Rubik's because they sold that. But other than that,
you need to change that if you don't have another Rubik's Cube. But that's the thing. So setting up a store is key. It really is. But listing still is king. Autopilot, I've proven it doesn't work. And remember that, ladies.
25 cards a day or 50 cards a day. I'm going to try 25. Just a stretch amount because I'm going on vacation.
Does not boost your store.
It does not help. And I'm not that concerned with it over the next 15 days because I'll be traveling. We'll see what happens.
All right. So we talked about sales. What about sourcing? I've been doing some sourcing this week. Got some more items coming in. Again, I'm moving over more into the art and jewelry area, ladies and gentlemen, because I really like those. Plus, here's the thing. Here's part of the reason I chose that because, I did get asked by another friend of mine, well, why would you choose jewelry? Here's my thing. I don't really want to deal in costume jewelry, but jewelry is jewelry. And if you've got something that's even 14 karat gold plated, here's my thoughts. Even if eBay was to crash tomorrow, I can get rid of that stuff even for smelt price. There's one of the things. Now, it's costing me a little bit more to invest in it. It is. But that's my thoughts is art and jewelry is two things you can always get rid of real easily. And that's where I'm headed. Now, I'm also going to stay in the tools because I really like tools, vintage tools. Although we found out on Pick or Pass that some vintage tools you need to go listen to that episode, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming out soon. Be coming out in the next few weeks. But not all vintage tools are worth having.
No.
For
But
reselling.
Snap on. Snap off. The snapper, baby.
Snap on. Snap off. Yes. And we'll be doing some more of those brands as well, finding out about them, ladies and gentlemen. But sourcing, I did do some sourcing this week, so I got some more jewelry coming. What about you, Benz? You any sourcing this week?
No. None.
Good man. Good man.
I'm not spending another dime. I'm trying not to. I did, but no, I lied. I did buy about one lot of Marvel cards off of the high bid. And they're coming. And I was going to source more, but then I had to leave. So there's no reason to have stuff show up.
Right. No, don't leave it on your doorsteps. It might not be there when you get home.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah, but that's good that you only source one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're trying to hold Ben's accountable.
I can't buy anything else. I need to stop. I'm no longer going to have a job as of September 6th. I need to make a decision whether to find a new job or do this full time. So I'm back and forth.
I think, and I want to share this, ladies and gentlemen, I have advised Ben's at where he's at, according to Indeed, he's looking at approximately 60 to 90 days to hire from the date of end. I have encouraged him to still look for a job during that period, but during that time to treat his eBay store like it is his full-time job, get up every day, take pictures, list like crazy, and see if he can't get over that $1,000 to $1,500 per week mark, which I think he can, and then decide whether he wants to go back to work or keep doing eBay full-time.
No, I went and looked at a property. I went and looked, but thinking about opening a store, but it was not right. It's an old thrift store that's no longer available, or that the old lady died at. She died. She died. It's no longer there. So all the stuff.
She didn't die at the store.
Yeah, not at the store. Maybe she did. I don't know. I didn't ask. Dropped it at the desk, but it's 3,600 square foot. It's really 1,200 square foot storefront in a shopping center. I don't want 3,600 square feet to start out, but the price was decent. The only problem is the air conditioning, electric, and everything is all into the main store. So even if I rented the 1,200 square feet, I'd have to air condition and all. I'm not turning the lights on the other, but I still have to air condition all 3,600 square feet. That's too much for me. So that didn't work out. Then I went and looked at another one, and the price was way too high. So I don't know that I need a storefront. That would just be, if I was going to do this, if I could get an old thrift store that had been there for 22 years and take it over, people are bringing stuff there, so maybe I wouldn't have to source. Stuff would just show up. I don't know. That was my thought process, but
I don't think that would be you though, because you really enjoy finding stuff. I mean, CJ Benz Finds is a great name for you.
Yeah, because I like to find
stuff. He does find stuff, and that's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got an item, and this is just a commercial, let me give a little commercial here. If you've got an item you can think of that you can't seem to find, comment on one of our videos. Tell Ben, say, hey man, I can't seem to find this. I guarantee you he can probably find it. Like my dad had this old toy, this doll that you pulled down its pants and took a piss, and he had got it in Florida when he was a little boy back in the late 50s, and it got broke, and Ben's literally found like, what was it, 2 or 3 of them?
I bought 2 of them for you.
Yeah. And of course he found it in Florida. I gave them to my dad for Christmas. He didn't know what to say. He was like, for a minute, and he was like, oh, okay. Because he didn't know what it was. So he unwrapped it, and he looked at it, and he was like, then as he was messing with it, the pants fell down, and he started laughing. I don't know. Strange toys from the 50s, ladies and gentlemen. Pulling little boys' pants down so they can take a piss. But
It was a simpler
okay,
time. We were excited about simpler stuff.
way simpler stuff, weird stuff that probably sparked Jeffrey Epstein's whole raid. Anyway,
Yeah. Isn't it crazy they shot Trump?
okay, let's don't go political.
I'm not. It's not political. I'm just like, oh my God, they shot him.
Yeah, they did.
That's-
I'll give my quick opinion on this, ladies and gentlemen, since he brought it up, and we'll go right back to talking about eBay reselling. My thing is, it's a horrible thing. If it had been Biden, it'd been a horrible thing. If it's Trump, a horrible thing.
Oh,
If
I
it's
agree.
RFK Jr., horrible thing. But I do agree, and I agree with my thoughts on this. I 100% agree with my thought on this. My thought is the people that are to blame for Trump getting shot are Trump and Biden. It is the Republicans and the Democrats are to blame for this because the way they talk to one another and the way they talk about one another is going to incite some people who don't have all their brain cells. They're a few French fries short of a Happy Meal, or their elevator don't go all the way to the top. It's going to incite them to do things like this. And obviously, this guy, whether I've heard stories he's a Democrat, I've heard stories he's a Republican, I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. Simple truth is, he was a few French fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
And he went crazy. And he's dead now for it because he was an amateur sniper while he met up with a Secret Service sniper who was a professional. And that's why he shot a hole in Trump's ear, and the professional sniper for Secret Service put a bullet in his head.
Yeah.
So there you go. My opinion is we need to stop being mean to one another, stop talking bad about one another, stop making threats to one another, and just talk about what Americans are really upset about, which is the fact that we can't half afford groceries anymore. But that's enough said about that. You can add your 2 cents and I'll shut up.
I've got no 2 cents. I'm just like, God damn, they shot him. That's all I am. That's all I got. I got no political. I just can't believe they shot him. I watched the video today. I remember, so Home Alone, where he goes to the store and he gets all his stuff in 1990, whatever, 7 or whatever it was. His bill was $19.99. They went and did that same thing today, and the bill was $49.75. That's crazy.
It is
up,
crazy.
baby.
And I know some inflation is natural, but here's the thing. And we can talk about those things. Let's let our politicians talk about them. Let's just start talking about the wars we're having to fight and the conflicts we're in globally and the stuff here at home, like inflation and how, those are things you need to be talking about, not let's put a bullseye on Trump, not, hey, we should have a fight with Biden and beat him down on the golf course with a golf club and wrap a iron around it. Those are not things we should be hearing our politicians talking about.
I agree. And the debate, there was no debate about those things. Whether you were on one side or the other, that debate was nothing but an ego stretch for the one, and the other one was just lost. Whether he had not slept enough or he was sick or whatever, but no one talked about any of the issues. All they talked about was, hey, I did this and you didn't do that, and I did this better than you, and then take credit for things that don't have anything to do with it. No one talked about any of the issues that we need them to talk about. But beyond that, back to eBay. Sorry to get political. That was very non-political, people.
Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's on y'all's mind too. It's on our mind as well. This is something Benz and I remember because of our age. The last time a pop shot was taken out of president, that was Ronald Reagan. And we're old enough we were kids, but it was a very big deal then. Now, we're not old enough to remember when JFK and RFK Sr. and Martin Luther King Jr. and, oh gosh, all these people were shot and assassinated. We're not old enough to remember that. Some of you listen to us maybe. This is something serious. This is not stuff we deal with in America. And when it happens, it's really, are you kidding me right now? So it is on our minds. The big thing is coming back here. Part of the reason that Benz and I are doing eBay is not just because we want to give up our afternoons, our evenings, and our Saturdays taking pictures. It's partly because we want to be able to buy things that we could buy a few years ago with just our regular paycheck. But you can't do that now.
I agree.
So we're having to do extra work because we still want to we still would like to go on vacation.
Yeah,
We still,
when I
you
started
know,
doing eBay 3 years ago, I think I could buy a dozen eggs for $1.29, depending on the week. And I picked an 18 pack up today, and I paid $6.50, and it was the best deal I could get. It's crazy, man.
and you guys are feeling it too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this. And so,
Exactly.
our idea with doing Pocket Change for you guys, from the standpoint, it's not to brag about how many sales we're doing, but to tell you guys and give you ideas and information so that you can make your store more successful faster. I listened to Ben's, and my store was selling in 22 days, where eBay says the average is 90. So that's the idea there. And we said, hey, we should do this as a podcast. We
Yeah.
should spread this out. We're not charging you guys anything. All we say is, hey, subscribe so we can get the information out and share it more with
And
people
leave a
like
freaking
us.
comment. Say, hey, tell me something I don't like about me, and I'll change it, because that's what I do. Hey, those glasses are awful.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't like your Wendy's cup.
put on different glasses.
Hey.
Yeah, no, these are the same as yours. I'm not wearing them. And then that movie Civil War that came out. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. It's crazy.
And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I think that movie, I have not seen it yet. I've seen clips of it. I'm planning on going and seeing it. Here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you can get a copy of that movie on VHS, just keep it. Not get
Dub it to
If you get-
VHS and sell it on eBay.
If you can get a copy of it on any format other than just straight digital, I think it's going to be one that you'll want to keep and keep sealed, because I think it's got a lot to do with what's going on.
Yeah.
What is it right now? And this is something you should do on Thrifty Treasures, Ben. But I was looking through items, and believe it or not, guess what? One of the top 5, it's one of the top 5. I think it's number 3, is from what I saw. Highest sold sealed TV series, single episode, because they used to do single episodes a long time ago.
Wow.
This is telling you when. What is the number 3 episode on TV recorded on a sealed VHS? What was it? I can tell you.
Just single episode on the VHS, number 1, number 3, not even number 1. We're talking number 3. I have no freaking clue. I'm going to say Dragnet.
No, it was the episode of Dallas, Who Shot JR.
I could see that. Yeah.
And it is
That was
number
huge,
3,
man, of the
and
day.
it's a sealed copy, and it sold for over $400.
All right, keep an eye out for that. Dallas.
And I was like, are you
Single
kidding
episode.
me? Because they used to only put single episodes. They were little short VHS. Now, they weren't shorter. They
Yeah,
were the
but
same size
A
VHS,
little bit of tape.
but they were little bit of tape. And they would sell single episodes. And somebody had a sealed one, and it sold for $400. I was like, really? I mean,
All right, so you ready for a
Well-
little bit of news?
let's have some news. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
so-
trying to segue into that.
Hey, all right. So Adam Ireland is tapped as eBay's new VP of Global Collectible. So it's another shift around, because Adam Ireland was the GM for the US. And now he's going to be new role, VP of Global Collectibles. He came out and talked about it in his LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. Interesting, of all the social media platforms that eBay advertises.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn is not one of them.
I don't know if you can advertise on LinkedIn. I'm not sure.
Yes, you can.
I said I'm not sure. I don't know. So that was that quick. There's nothing special about that, but they're just moving him from one role to another to cover that open spot. They're
So, ladies and
taking-
gentlemen, we're looking for a new GM of America. If
no,
you wanna
they're
apply for it.
promoting a lady, and I can't think of her name, into that
Well,
role.
her spot's going to come open. So if you want a job
Yeah.
with eBay, sure, it won't be on Indeed, but it might be on their careers page.
Maybe. Well, all right. So another article I read, is eBay losing listings due to the auto relist glitch? So apparently there's been a problem with the auto relist. It just drops off and they do not relist. Why this is not being fixed? The seller on Friday trying to understand that they had a bunch of stuff that should have auto relist and it did not. It's just going away.
Well,
And
you
the
know,
problem
I
is
had
when it
problems
goes
too.
away, and I wouldn't even notice this. Would you notice this?
I did, because I've got so few items, and I noticed when it happened to me, I was like, wait a minute. Some of my stuff, when I had it on autopilot, and I was like, whoa. All of a sudden, my items dropped by like 4. And I didn't sell anything, because that was the month I zeroed.
Yeah.
It just didn't renew. and they were just gone. Now, they did pop up about 2 weeks later in my unsold. It was some taps and dies they just did not relist, and they popped up a few weeks later in my unsold box. And I was like, there they are, because I was going to have to go through. I only knew because of the number.
Right.
Didn't know exactly. I was like, I'd have to go through everything and check it one by one to see what didn't get relisted. But I was very fortunate. It did pop up 2 weeks later, and I relisted them.
Yeah, so just be careful out there and check your unsold. I haven't noticed that myself. So eBay launches a cash advance service for its sellers. So eBay is working with a financial service to offer working capital loans to sellers. This is different than the one they had today. The one they had before this was a 100% just a regular loan. The way this one works is it looks at what you've sold and what you're selling, and then it takes away a portion of your sale. So instead of you having to pay back a monetary amount every month, it says, we'll give you $5,000 and you can repay this $5,000 by giving us 10% of your sales weekly. So it just takes a percentage of your sales instead of you having to worry about, oh, I got to come up with $300. It's all based on your past sale. So if you're only selling three things, it'll give you $2 million, but it seemed like a neat way to do it instead of having to actually get a loan.
What's the percentage? Because I'm selling on average about $20 a week right now.
Does not talk about that at all. It just says that they will look at your sales, look at your account, and then tell you what they're willing to loan you and how much of a percentage of your sales you have to pay them back weekly.
Okay, good to know. If you guys are interested in that, I personally wouldn't tie any loans to my eBay business unless you are at a level where you're able to do it full time. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just tell you, I would not do it unless you're at a level where you can do it full time. If you're doing it full time, hey, and you need some capital to source, you come across some good sourcing items or a good 500 pallets that you can get shipped to your door, do it. It might be worth it.
And the last article I read that seemed to be interesting was eBay warns USPS no longer supports FedEx drop-offs. So apparently, and I never did this, but apparently you used to be able to take your FedEx packages and drop them at the post office, and then FedEx would pick up from there daily, effective July 14th, 2024, which is today. So when you're seeing this, it'll be in the future. Sellers should no longer drop off their FedEx packages at a USPS location. The package will be seized and never go anywhere. So if you sell FedEx, take it to a FedEx store as of July 14th, 2024.
And I'm going to speak to this just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm shipping documents and stuff all the time. And some of those documents have to be shipped. Well, we called it FedEx. We had to be shipped FedEx, but what we did a lot, we would just put it in a box marked FedEx Smart Post. FedEx has dumped its Smart Post, and this is part of the fallout from that, where FedEx and the Postal Service work together. FedEx has dropped that, they say, due to not being able to negotiate fair rates anymore. Honestly, if you want my opinion, from a business standpoint, I think it's because UPS or USPS has gone to the whole ground advantage thing. So they're now in direct competition with FedEx and UPS. And so I think that FedEx tried to negotiate a better rate so that they could undercut or get their prices lower using the Smart Post while fully taking advantage of the ground advantage type setup. And I think it was directly, I don't want to say retaliatory. I think it was just business.
The other thing that's not from the news, but something I noticed was I do a lot of ads where I'm selling stuff by a percentage, standard ads. And you used to be able to see when it says on there, it was sold through your standard ad sales and you have to pay this amount. You used to be able to click on a report that would tell you whether it was a direct sale or a halo sale. Means that somebody went to your store and looked at item A, didn't buy it, but for the next 30 days, if they buy something from your store, you still have to pay a percentage to them that original direct click was from. And there used to be a report that you could click on. It would tell you whether it was a halo or a direct. As I was pretty sure I didn't have it set up as I wasn't promoting it, and it went back to the dashboard. It didn't go to that report. The report no longer exists. to tell you whether it was direct or a halo. So when I did that, and then I did some reading on it, yes, they've eliminated that.
They've eliminated that, and I suspect they've eliminated that because there was, from my understanding, a lot of complaints because somebody would join your store as a follower and then they would halo them. In other words, they would charge you as if you had promoted that. It's like, wait a minute, no. And
Yeah.
so I think they've eliminated that until they can figure out how to exactly distinguish between a store follower and just a, we call it a halo shopper.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to do that. So you shouldn't be charged anything like that. You will still, however, still get charged your promoted ads fee, which have I've noticed in doing a little bit of listing, those have come back down a little bit. They keep yo-yoing.
It's all based on what people are willing to pay. So the more people you have that are willing to pay a high rate, the more high rates you're going to have. So
yeah, what we need to do, guys, in the reseller world is get together and say, look, we're going to stop paying these promoted fees, and just don't do it.
yeah, everybody stop promoting so my promotion can go down and I'll still promote. Everybody's going to promote. Yeah, we're not.
You're right.
Everybody, yeah, we shouldn't do this. It's wrong. I agree. But you know what? I could pay another 10% and make another $1,000 this month. Okay, I'll give you $100.
You have a point. That's why we had a war over a 2% tax, and for July the 4th, the average person spent like 10% tax or more.
But you realize we have representation. We didn't then. Represented by a bunch of thieves making $100,000 a year and retiring millionaires. Hello?
Yeah, we don't really have representation now, but that's getting political again. We're trying to stay away from that.
Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, apparently he spent too much time on the couch with political ads and all.
I did.
Any other news we can pass on to them about changes on eBay? I'll tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. The selling season is coming. It's here partially. We always wind up this time of year, so make sure you're getting your stuff listed and getting it out there.
Yes.
Because Q3 and Q4 notoriously and historically are the best, but December sucks. Here's the thing. You've got to get it on there in time to be able to ship it out so that they can get it before Christmas, because there's a lot of Christmas shopping that goes on.
But there's also, I usually do well in January, even though they say forget about the J's. January, June, and July. Those are your worst 3 months.
You do, but
they're going to be worse. January is usually pretty good for me because I sell a lot of collectible things that somebody might want for themselves that somebody else might not buy. So there's a lot of people that get cash for Christmas, and then they seem to sell stuff in January. So, but yeah, after September, December 12th through the 15th, after that, you're pretty much dead in the water with eBay, especially unless you're doing next stage stuff. And then that's always a hassle. By the 15th, I'm not guaranteeing anything. You just got to look at your stuff and figure it out, because nothing worse than somebody on the 20th saying, hey, can you get it here in time for Christmas? And you look at the thing, you're like, oh yeah, I can get it there 2 days early. And it turns out that it's 2 days late, and then they just get pissy with you, and it's not your fault.
Yeah. Yep. But I think that's enough. Is that all the news we got?
I mean, do you want more? I did 4 news stories.
I think we're good, ladies and gentlemen.
I can make some news up.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
But I think hope we've had a good show for you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is PocketChange, where everything sells eventually.
Yeah. You didn't tell me what you learned this week. What did you learn this week?
I haven't learned anything this week, really. Not anything new to share with our group. I've shared a couple things here, but nothing really new. Again, if you put your store on autopilot, you're guaranteed not to sell a thing. So if you don't want to sell anything, just put your store on autopilot. You won't sell anything, I promise. In fact, we may test that one time just to see. Instead of putting it on vacation mode, may just let it go whole autopilot for the whole 30 days prior, and we probably won't sell anything the next 30 days at all.
Yeah, we don't get to that. We're never going back to that. You got to straighten out. I'm working towards my 5,000 items list.
5,000.
I'm trying to get my
620 items in for inventory so that I can do that, because that's the whole idea, is 620. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know where that comes from, that is back in another episode. I'm not going to go rehash that, but he's on his 5,000 model. I'm on my 620 model.
Yep. I'm up to 1880.
1880.
Keep it going.
I got to I still got a ways to go, but again, yeah, I'm going for the 620 model, whereas it's more targeted. It's a more rifle approach, and the whole idea is just to keep spinning the same 620 items, doing what's it called? Not relist, but post similar, sell similar and replace the item that you're selling, and you're trying to build up a following. Ben's is actually going for the whole put enough items.
You got the rifle approach. I got the shotgun.
Shotgun.
Blow it all out there and see what happens.
Put as much out there as possible and get it to where you're basically a superstore.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. It's two different ideas. Again, we went over the whole entire models in a previous episode. So go back and listen to some of our back episodes, and make sure if you're sourcing, ladies and gentlemen, that you're listening to our pick or pass. It will help you a whole lot, I promise.
Yeah. It'll show you what not to buy mainly.
No, we've got some items on there that you should.
We did not. We're coming back.
Yeah, we have had some as low as 2%. Those are definitely ones you want to stay away from. If you don't know what 2% means, go watch Pick or Pass. I say on Pick or Pass, come watch this show. So on this show, I say go watch our Pick or Pass, because here's the thing. It's going to help you stock your inventory with good inventory to sell. And it's going to show you, if you pay attention, we're going to exactly teach you how to make sure, even if you come across an item that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, you can do the research.
You can do how to do the research. So go watch those. They're not long. They're like, what, 10 to 20 minutes? Thereabouts?
20 to 40.
So if you're willing to listen to us for an hour,
you can definitely listen to that for 20 to 30 minutes.
Definitely go listen to that for 20 and learn a lot. So
again, thank you guys very much, and have a wonderful week.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.